So what we have here today is a teardown. I've got my hands on an old 1600 series router from Cisco Systems. This unit itself hasn't been manufactured for quite a few years. We have a look on the back and we can see that it's only got 10 base T Ethernet and a token ring serial, console, a WIC serial card, so it has two serial interfaces, and also the operating system is on a 8 megabyte PCMCI a flash card, and it's very low capacity, but if you ever come across any of these, it's worth hanging on to them because they actually do go for quite a reasonable price at the moment. So if you probably want to get hold of one of these, you'd probably be looking at about $100 to $150 just for a small card of this size, because they're just not really made or used anymore, except for a few specialty uses, like in these older equipment and maybe in some more modern audio professional equipment, just to store configuration settings. So let's have a look at the unit itself. There are two screws at the back, and that looks like it, and there's one screw in the middle. So let's see if we can't crack this open and have a look at the goodness inside it. Oh, that's too large. Let's try it just for these smaller drivers. Yeah. This particular model is the 1603R, and we can see that it was tested okay in 2002. So that shows you how old this is. It's 15 years since this thing came off the production line. Let's see if we can lift the lid on this now. Yep. Okay. It's just clipped on the front. Just be careful not to break the clips. And see what we have inside. We have a memory module here. It's a SIM module. No, a DIMM module. It's double-sided, and the label says that it's 8 megabytes. The contacts are not gold. They're just, looks like they're just solder plated, and yeah, they're very, very crusty. They're yeah, could do with a good clean up. And there's quite a bit of dust inside the modem itself, or the router I should say. There's a edge connector down here. It looks like it's probably for testing, maybe, because there's no way out of the case for that to go. Let's throw this expansion card and see if we can see what's in underneath it. Okay, so this is just the WIC card, and yeah, the two main chips on here appear to be Altera, and I'll bring it up. I don't know if you can see those clearly. The top one is a Altera MPM 7128. QC 100 AA, and the other one is a EPM 7032 LC 44-15. So it could be some kind of processor because it's made by Altera, or a small FPGA. And yeah, it's a WIC 1T. They do a WIC 2T, which is also a serial card which has 2 serial ports in a smaller form factor than the serial connector on this device. We'll have a look at the main unit. It's a little bit dusty. We've got a Motorola chip there, which is going to be the processor. It's an MC68EN360EM33L. So that's more likely our main processor. And it looks like there is some onboard memory chips there. They're probably going to be DRAMs by the looks of it. The Samsung chips, they're K4F1516110-JC60. So yep, I would say that's probably the RAM there, because obviously the operating system, the flash memory, is actually on this card here, so it can easily be changed out and upgraded for different firmware rather than having to program it in situ. There's another Altera part here which has a similar serial number. No, it's a larger. This is an MPN 7064LC 84AA, and there is another Altera part there. It's an Altera Max EPM 7128 ELC 84 12, so that's probably going to be some kind of FPGA. There's a chip here, I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like some sort of glue logic. It's an IDT 74 FCT. There are a couple of chips down here, appear to be branded MX. One is a B023149 and the other is an S023049. Because they're in sockets, it could be some kind of BIOS chip maybe. And also here there is again another Altera part. So this is more than likely the driver for the serial port. Yeah, it's the same chip as on the expansion serial card. There is a chip here from Intel. I get the light right. It's an LXT907PC, and that appears to be connected to some kind of isolation. So yeah, that's probably going to be our Ethernet chipset. And then yeah, there's just some input protection there, and then there's a lot of smaller chips here, which are, I don't recognize the brand, but yeah, they're just, yeah, looks nice. And that was a plane flying overhead. Yeah, they're just 7.4 series logic chips there, and there's not much in the way of power supply on this board because the power supply is actually an external power supply. So all the main voltages will come through there. It says 14 volts DC. There is a linear technologies regulator there. What appears to be a regulator. Yeah, it's LT1129. Okay, and what appears to be quite a large, it looks like some kind of transformer. So yeah, that's probably some kind of a buck or a boost converter there. Yeah, diodes, capacitors. Looks like some kind of current shunt. R040, so that could be 0.4 of an ohm. So yeah, that looks like it would be some kind of current shunt. Okay, and then down the front next to the SIM module or DIMM module, we have all the status LEDs, and we have a jumper, which is probably due to select the memory size of the inserted SIM or DIMM, probably given its proximity to the expansion memory. So it looks like it has some onboard memory, and then yeah, you can then expand it. Coming from this chip, it must be some kind of buffer chip, because yeah, the traces come from here into the DIMM module, and there's also a set of traces going to these other chips here. We'll just pop the board out. I don't expect to see too much on the other side because I think probably most of the main part of the circuitry is going to be on the other side, on this side of the board. But we'll have a look. Okay, we're probably going to need to take these two lugs off here, or just slides out. We can get these two clips to clear at the front. We should be able to, there we go, the board out. So this second screw on this side was probably, yeah, to secure the bracket. So yeah, as expected, there is absolutely nothing on the other side of the board. I don't know if you can see that without the reflection. Okay. So that you can see the main Altera parts and the main processor and RAM. And assembly should be pretty straightforward because, yeah, there is not much holding this thing together. We didn't even have to unplug this power switch as it comes out with the frame. And yeah, the flash card. Okay, what we need to do is to plug it in and fire it up and see if it works. Okay, power's on. Let's think this thing boots up. Okay, it's got a little flash on the activity light there for the LAN, and it also says there call, so I'm guessing that is for collision, because with it being 10 base T, it's an older technology, so it would have been probably using something. So carrier sense multiple access with collision detection. Okay, and we have a solid OK light, which means that our router is fully operational to the most part. The last thing to do is to plug it into the computer using its console cable and see if we can get any life out of it. There's also a light LED next to the flash card which says OK, so I'm presuming that means that it's detected the flash card and it's booted from the operating system successfully. But yeah, we can test that out. We plug in a console cable and then we can get it hooked up to the network and see if we can get it to ping some other devices or be pinged on the network.
So let's start our router up. So we can see that it's got 16 megabytes of memory. And I've just speeded up the boot process here because it does take a long time. Okay, so we need to enter EN for enable, and then conf T to get into the configuration mode. So here we can set the host name. It's already called a router, but that's how you would set the name. So no IP domain lookup, that'll just stop it from trying to connect to an IP address to look up commands if you enter an incorrect or do a typo. So here we configure interface ETH0 because this is an old router. So we give it the IP address and the subnet mask. Entering no shutdown will ensure that the port always stays up and active. Exit, and then back to normal EN mode, and then we can try and ping our default gateway. And there you can see 5 by 5. Now we need to copy the running config that we just created to the startup config so that when you restart the router, all your configuration settings are still there. Otherwise, if you didn't do that, if you just rebooted, then it would go back to its default state before you made the changes. So we'll hit reload to reload the router. Again, this is just speeded up because it usually takes about a minute for the router to boot. Okay, so that just stores us the status of all our links. And we can then ping our gateway again to make sure our settings have removed. And strangely, we've only got 4 out of 5 pings. Let's try that again. 100% this time. Great. Now we can just show our running config. And you can see our IP address and netmask are there already set. And that's how you do a basic configuration on a Cisco router.